Get out my business. Nani? Okay.
Anyway, Heero, how you doing, man?
It's the show. I'm always sitting here thinking to myself, like, just dreading the days that I work. I am so overworking. Like, why can't this just be my job? Why can't I get like 1,001 subscribers? One of our videos did really well. Like, one of our videos
Heero
did
crushed
really
it,
well.
bro. Straight up, Heero freaking crushed it. The video was great. He dropped it the perfect time.
Man.
The new simple thumbnail template is dope, bro. He sent me the screenshot. Bro, I was at work in a class, and I was just looking at my phone. I put my phone down, I'm laughing, and somebody the instructions like, everything good? I'm like, yeah, everything's good. Everything's good. It's real good.
We're so close. I know we talk about our numbers a lot more now, but like when you get confirmation that you're doing something right, it just feels good, because like the universe will tell you no, but you have to know that it is not the voice from the outside that motivates the heart from the inside. You must be able to follow the sound of your own voice in a room full of noisy motherfuckers. And with that, let's talk about how some motherfuckers getting real noisy. Yo,
bro, listen. I was like, oh y'all, me and Heero was on the phone. No lie. I said it's finna be a hot everybody summer. Everybody. I said it was funny. Heero mentioned that during the outbreak that the birth rates did not drop off at all. So I'm just telling you, people finna be out here, bro. The country is opening up. For those of you guys who live under a rock, March 10th, Texas went wide open, maskless. People out here thugging it, hardcore. And I went to Breadwinners for brunch to meet a friend of mine on Sunday, and I'm there. I have my face covering on. But people was up in there, no nothing, and the restaurant wasn't really enforcing it. And I was just like, I am shoulder to shoulder. I was like, please nobody cough. I said, dude, you watch what I tell you. And me and Heero already know, we've seen this once before. This feels like deja vu. What's gonna happen is we're gonna get a spike. It's inevitable. The spike is gonna happen, and not enough people are inoculated. Why couldn't we just get to 100 million vaccines first? Because the way that they were strategically doing it, now people 50 and up have just this week been able to go in and get a vaccine. So the way that they laid it out, it wasn't the best in my opinion, but it was better than nothing. And you talking about 500,000 people died. 500,000 people died, and that number is not increasing at the rate that it was the last half of the previous year, but it's still increasing. You know why? Because it's a virus that we can't see, and in order to fight that, we gotta get people inoculated. And I'm talking about me. I'm waiting on the J&J. I want to be one and done. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't really want to do the two. But I'm gonna make a phone call to the boss man tomorrow, see if he can put me on get me back on the list. And if I gotta get two, then I'm gonna just have to get two. So it is what it is. But these people out here just it's reckless, bro. And this past weekend here was St. Patty's weekend. People were out, and it was warm. It was like the high 70s. People were out here acting a fool. Straight fool. I told you I was at that wedding on Friday. I walked into the wedding with my face covering on. And guess who was the only one with a face covering on? I was just like,
don't fall for peer pressure. Don't fall for peer pressure, people. Don't fall for peer pressure.
I was like, I don't
peer pressure is literally
not my wedding. It's not my wedding. If I was not at a wedding, I wouldn't have done it. But people walking around taking photos and doing all that stuff, this is somebody's memory. I took my mask off for that. So whatever.
Memories ain't gonna save you when when your PEEP is at 18, your rate is at 26, your FiO2 is at 100, and your tidal volume's at 500.
Hey, well, listen. That's what some of them signed up for. I'm pretty Shout out to Big Bro. He telling you right now the streets were packed. That's my only concession. Anywhere else I go, I wear my mask. Anywhere else I go. You know why? It's like, to me, this is the issue I have. Heero, have you ever taken antibiotics for anything?
Yeah.
Okay. When they give you that bottle of antibiotics, what do they tell you to do with the bottle?
I have no idea.
They tell you that it has a prescribed dosage, like here's the dose.
Yeah.
Here's how many you need to take every so many, Q6, Q8, Q12 hours, whatever it is. And then the doctor tells you before you leave out, make sure you take the whole bottle. Why? Because he knows if you take a couple doses and you start feeling better and then you don't take it, there's a chance for another flare up. Mm-hmm. So he tells you to take the entire bottle so that you can ensure that you have killed off whatever it is that is attacking you. And what America's doing right now is we just took 2 or 3 doses when we got like 4 or 5 doses left. This is the problem. Finish the whole bottle first.
And let's talk about some people that need to finish the whole goddamn bottle besides Texas and Mississippi. Duke University has currently put a full ban on their students because of unsanctioned parties and frat parties that have been going on their campus. There's literally, we're going into March Madness. For the first time ever in March Madness history, they literally have 4 designated teams in the event that one of the teams tests positive for COVID. We are so close to getting to the finish line. But in reality, we're not even close because we just stopped off from the 3,000 death rate. We're just to 2,000. That means 2,000 people are still dying every day. Yeah, our hospitalization rates are down 60%, but that could easily change. And we know that 60% is the threshold for collapse on our healthcare when it comes to pressure testing our system. The reason why we need to be so careful is because actually we've experienced this before when the country woke back up. And we have about 10 examples of when this happened. But another story that people didn't hear about recently is Bolingbrook, Colorado, where 2,000 students were marching and partying up and down residential streets. They had to call in the SWAT. People broke into houses, damaged cars. And literally when people were being interviewed, they asked, "Why are you here?" And they said it's because literally I haven't gone outside in a year. And I feel for some people, like freshmen and seniors last year. I feel for these people. I feel for all students, especially students who got their 3 square meal. One of those meals came from school. I feel for these kids. But if you really call yourself a person of the people and you want to see people do better, we as a people have to do better. And before we say YOLO, let's see what history tells us about this situation, because there was a time when we experienced something like this. Any guess when? The Roaring 20's. 10 amazing facts about the Roaring 20's and how these facts really tell us the story of what's about to happen. So, Prohibition, right? We want our beer. And if you don't know about the Roaring 20's, basically this was right after the Depression, right after the war. Things were finally starting to pick up. Things were getting better for the country. And what we saw was a bunch of people who were living without had money, had power, had the ability to move again. And this is what they did. So Prohibition, what is the similar correlation here? Marijuana. It's now being legalized all throughout the country. People are protesting for these things. Is becoming legal in our country. So this is something that we can see. What else do we have on the bottom? The rise of the mafia. What do we have here? The alt-right. January 6th happened. So this is our correlation to it. Not a direct correlation in a sense, because I think the mafia were definitely a little bit more reputable than the alt-right or the people who stormed the Capitol.
They had a code of ethics.
They had a code, code of ethics. So we see this correlation here. Now we're starting to get a little funny. The birth of jazz. I like to call this the Afro beat. Eric, do you listen to Afro beats? Afro beats was something that my sister put me on to, and I was jaw dropped that this was actually music my people made. The birth of jazz came from this. So the Afrobeat scene has blown up, and it's because a lot of people been in the lab lately, right? The Harlem Renaissance. I think the greatest correlation for this, because a lot of people conflate the Harlem Renaissance with just the music scene, but what it really was, oh shit, Eric, I lost you.
What happened?
Where'd you go? Oh, there you go.
Know.
Eric jumped off the camera. But I conflate
I don't know
the
what happened. I did it automatically.
With the birth and grace of all the protests, right? I think of Black Lives Matter. I think of all the people who were out there protesting this summer and using their voices to be found. We interviewed a director of Black Lives Matter for communications. Fred Hampton's movie, the Grammys, and everything that we've seen in the Black community as far as entertainment. Soul being the best movie out this year. Like, these are things that we're proud to say we're a part of. The rise of Hollywood. I think I don't know if this is something, but what do you think about the streaming wars? Like, the streaming wars picked up drastically this year.
Starting to piss me off so mad. You got Apple TV, you got Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus, Disney Plus, YouTube TV, Hulu, Amazon Prime, HBO Max, Showtime, Stars, Cinemax. You can stream on those, and you got Netflix on top. On top of the Peacock network.
Quibble. Rest in peace, Quibble.
Quibble gone.
Quibble
I'm just saying, this is just getting bad. And everybody's trying nickel and dime. I was like, dude, you guys, this is worse than cable, because every time this happens, I have to ratchet up how much I pay for YouTube TV. YouTube TV, when I first bought it, like 3 years ago, was $5 now. And the main thing I use it for is sports. And I'm really starting to wonder. I mean, it's a few shows that me and Shawnee will watch, but I'm just like,
they have great anime shows.
They do, but you know what's crazy? Bro, this is how crazy it's getting. T-Mobile has a live TV streaming service now that it's offering to its customers. I thought about just aggregating all of my stuff over to them. Once they get this 5G home internet, it's a wrap. I'm getting off YouTube TV. I'm going straight over to get T-Mobile. They got 95 channels, just like YouTube TV, and my internet. I'm like consolidating my bills.
The flappers. Now, I didn't understand what a flapper was, and
real?
When I saw this picture, there's like the ability to dress. It was basically women dressing more seductive, and I was looking at the picture and I googled examples of flappers, and it kept showing me these very well-dressed conservative women, but actually there were like officers who were on the beach who would measure, who were in charge. Let's just talk about that for a second. There are actually officers who took pride in the fact that their job was to go around measuring if women were covered up enough. This is just the degradation of the ideal of policing. But the correlation we have to flappers, and at least that I believe in America, is in right now, Megan Thee Stallion clearly being the beast that she is and taking over the music scene and really letting women, for better or worse, let down their hair with her ability to rap and her ability to show off her body and her mind and her flex of business. So that was the correlation I brought for the flappers. The scoops of the monkey trail. This was kind of something that I didn't understand either, which was basically the teaching of evolution versus the whole Adam and Eve story, right? The using of science. How does this correlate? Well, literally, there are countless videos now on the internet where teachers are using their online platforms to teach, and there are kids who are literally Googling in real time and being like, no, actually, this is what it is. You're teaching us something for a curriculum that you see fit versus what the truth is. And I love those rebuttals. I think the one that's really popular is about the AP history class, where a history teacher was explaining to a AP class with 2 black students in it that the N-word is really a word for ignorance. And when black people use it, they're really calling themselves ignorant. And these 2 black students literally had to Google in real time that this was a word that, because these kids didn't know that this word was used by white people to oppress black people and define them in a negative connotation. And it wasn't until it was retaken that it was just a great thing to see. And it reminded me a lot of what was going on back then. And The Great Gatsby, I couldn't think of a great book of this time. Like, what's a book that's like knocked shit out of the park? We in the book club we read a lot of books, but I don't know if there was a book that just kind of defined a lifestyle for us right now. Like what, Home Alone? Like
maybe at this point.
And then the last one is the boom of the industries. And I like to correlate this to all the entrepreneurs that came out. Like, everybody started a business this year. Everybody started a podcast this year. Everybody started a YouTube page. Like, whatever you did to make extra money during your downtime, whatever skill, and you don't have to necessarily have had a skill, but whatever you decided to do, yo, congrats to you, and I hope you are prosperous in that effect. The person that I really equate to this is Toby Nwangwe, who is this artist.
That boy
just blew the fuck up. And I mean, he did it all from his living room. Like, and with his family. Like, it was crazy to see that. But, you know, that's just, I mean, Eric, how true do you feel to the form of this list that we're going to repeat history? These are all very positive. This is what we could do if we just don't fuck this up.
Human nature repeats itself because human nature doesn't change. And so, in some way, shape, or form, we're always going to repeat the same behaviors because we keep repeating the same behaviors. That's why. If we behavior modification is a son of a gun. I know I deal with it quite often at work, and I learned that people need to be backed into a corner and made to see that the perspective that they have, it really, really, really isn't the correct one to have. Can't always do that, but if you can mentally help them jump the hurdles, so to speak, then you'll easily be able to, make some changes. But I don't think that this is gonna happen, bro. I'm being a glass half full guy, and I'm usually never that guy. But I'm so pessimistic because human beings are gonna do what human beings have always done. This is why we always find ourselves in these situations. And the people who actually want to do something positive and want to make some change and progress as a society are usually ended up having their voices oppressed, which is back to that comment that one of the people said about us that you said at the beginning of the live stream.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, that's our take on it. That's, our story. That's our feelings on it. It doesn't really affect you in the sense of like, how to feel about it or like how to make things right or wrong. But, for all it's worth, that's been our idea. How do you feel you're going to do? If we can, honestly, do you think this is a question to the people, do y'all believe we can come together and actually beat this thing? If tell us what you think, and what's the first thing you want to do when you get out the house? Let us know in the comment section below. But for what it's worth, Eric, where can they find us and what are we doing?
You need to find us right here. First things first, hit the like. Second things second, hit the subscribe. Turn them post notices to all. Then go in the description box. Hit the send some kids to college, man. We are raising money for college kids, man. So we got two great teachers at Tivno High School back in the greater Illinois area, Chi-Town to be specific. Out here raising money for the graduating seniors, trying to raise $10,000. We've already read 3,000, so go help us fill that bucket up. You got until May 7th to fill up that bucket. After that, let's go ahead and hit that Amazon link. Let us steal some money from Jeff Bezos, a little bit of money. He gonna make it back in like 5 seconds after we take it, but it's beside the point. Go ahead and make sure that we get on up there and get that, and then go over to the link tree. Make sure you hit that link tree everywhere you want to be. Like this, straight up. Shorty on my line and we fuss and fight. Seems like every night. Don't care who's wrong or right. I hope they decide. Slow it down and we can catch the five. But it's so hard to find through the daily grind. Been working overtime. And I'm sleep deprived. Shorty on